This is exactly what we all voted for. This is exactly what we wanted. Trump came in with his feet on the ground running. It wasn't like his first term where he was kind of feeling people out. Okay, let me see about this program. Let me see. He knows exactly what he wants to do. He wants to get in there and just cut the fat. And I'm all for it. This is exactly what I voted for. And all the people who are crying right now, listen, you weren't crying when Biden was sending money literally all over the world and just wasting it. Trump is in there. He's a man with a mission. He's a man with a plan. And I can't wait to see what else he's going to do. We're 8 days in. I can't see what else he's going to do.
I keep going to the U.S. debt clock. I don't know if you guys ever checked. We should probably maybe even pull this up at some point. usdebtclock.org. And there's a ticker that shows the national debt going up. And it's going up at about $50,000 per second. So they just added a Doge clock.
Did they?
Yeah. And so far since Doge has been implemented, it's saved us $31 billion. It's in the upper left. You see that the Doge is the gold one. They just added it in that upper left box, the Doge clock. It looks like it's going up as fast as the debt, meaning that we are basically stifling our debt. Our debt is going to zero. Our debt is not going up right now.
Whoa, that's
incredible.
I don't know that I feel comfortable telling you
not the debt.
The deficit.
What I meant to say is the deficit. It looks like they've reduced the deficit to zero.
Well, I mean,
or
even
close to zero, if this is accurate, which I've heard that it is.
No.
Just because you hear it doesn't mean it's true.
There are more commas in the U.S. national debt than in the Doge
But look,
clock.
it's $50,000 a second. I mean, it looks like they're both going up at $50,000 a second.
Well, I imagine one would be stationary if it was actually erasing the increases.
Well,
and I don't want to sound like I don't want to be like the wet blanket here, because I think the Doge is great. I just don't want to overstate what.
Yeah, I'm not claiming that our deficit is now going up at zero, but it looks like if these numbers are both accurate, then that means that our deficit is not increasing.
What counts as Doge and what doesn't? So, like, if Donald Trump, has an executive order to cut spending, does that count as Doge? Is that on this clock here?
I don't know if it would be under Doge, or if it would be something that would just fall under OMB. I know that OMB and Doge are working closely together, and Donald Trump's pick for the secretary, or what, I don't know what his official title is, but the guy that runs OMB, I've heard him on a couple podcasts, and he's really got the desires of Donald Trump and what needs to be done. He's got his eyes really fixated on what needs to be done, and it sounds promising. I mean, obviously, anytime you're talking about government, you're going to have as many hurdles as the opposing party and the people who will be losing jobs and losing funding. They're going to be doing everything they can to cast you as evil. And all it takes is a few minutes on X this afternoon to see Democrats saying all these things are going to hurt this and hurt that and take funding from this and take funding from that. Most of the things, and the average person doesn't actually think of this, but most of the things that they say, this program's going to be unfunded, and this program's not going to get funded, and these things aren't going to happen. Most of it is unconstitutional anyways, because it's not actually the federal government's mandate by the Constitution. It's probably something that they have. It's a power that they have expropriated from the states or from the people, that they've given themselves to say, well, we're going to go ahead and use the necessary and proper clause or the commerce clause. And I will beat these two clauses to death, because these are the two clauses that have allowed the federal government to grow to the point where it doesn't resemble the intended government of the founders. The states have all the power that they need to pass laws and pass legislations. The federal government doesn't have to do everything. It can all these things can be done at the state level, and that is ideally that would be the best solution. If the federal government gets rid of a program and it's actually necessary in your state, or your state believes it's necessary, your state can do it. And I would love to see that happen more, as opposed to just say, oh, Donald Trump's an evil Nazi and blah, 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 But what do you think that this is something that we're going to see more of, or what?
The fact that these are unconstitutional programs is what Doge is going to use as leverage to actually get rid of them, right? My personal opinion is I'm a huge fan of small government. I mean, I think probably everyone in this room is going to agree that we don't need to be spending on all of these things. And the more that you push it local, I mean, state is one place, but you could do it in a county or even a city, a lot of these programs, and they're not needed everywhere and they don't affect everyone the same way. Every program is different. I hope we gut every single unconstitutional program. I would rather handle it elsewhere. Like you said, it just doesn't make sense. The federal government does not spend efficiently. That's why we need Doge in the first place. Like, I would rather give my money to someone who's gonna do a good job spending it. And typically I'll lean towards private industry on that. It doesn't even have to be the government at all. It doesn't have to be the state. It could be a business, right? Some things, like obviously you want your fire and your police, probably those make sense, to be provided by the government, but I definitely lean more towards deleting than otherwise. And I hope we get a ton of it. The federal judge blocking, some of these executive orders that stop foreign aid, that bothers me. I can't wait to see what ultimately happens there. But my take is like, slash everything. Just cut it. We got to get rid of everything.
Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.